Could we see a Zach LaVine Los Angeles Clippers trade come to fruition before the start of the NBA season? What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and we have a big-time report coming in that is saying NBA executives believe LaVine could be a Clipper before the season or be dealt to Los Angeles before the NBA trade deadline. And this was actually coming in from Joe Cowley, who is very tapped in with the Chicago Bulls, works for the Chicago Sun-Times, and he tweeted this out late yesterday saying NBA people still feel like if there's a place Zach LaVine could end up going to either before the season or at the deadline, don't rule out the Los Angeles Clippers. We'll get some more quotes, and we'll also talk about the Bulls Summer League here in just a second, but help us reach 9,000 subscribers here on the channel, because if we get any more reports around Zach LaVine, Nikola Vucevic, anybody around your Chicago Bulls, I promise you guys I will have a video for you guys ASAP. So hit that subscribe button. Just need 182 more of you to hit that sub button. So if you guys could help us out and join our Bulls Report family here on YouTube. And then also on the second half of today's show, Bulls took on the Pistons yesterday in the Summer League. So I'll be going over three players, Julian Phillips, Matas Buzelis, and DJ Stewart, as they all balled out yesterday versus Detroit. But this quote coming in from Joey Lynn, who works for Sports Illustrated, pretty tapped in with the NBA, said this. He said, it has been widely reported this summer that the Chicago Bulls star Zach LaVine has little to no trade market. This is almost entirely due to his 5-year, $215 million contract that still has 3 years remaining. Because while injuries are a concern for LaVine, he has been productive when on the court. LaVine made back-to-back All-Star teams in 2021 and 22, following those selections with 24.8 points per game, 77 contests next year. But this past season, he did just play in 25 games. LaVine's health and contract are areas of concern for teams with potential trade interest. But a new report suggests the Los Angeles Clippers could still be in play. And, you know, when I got this report originally, like, it makes a lot of sense why Los Angeles would be interested in the likes of a Zach LaVine. If I had to predict it right now where LaVine gets traded, if he does get traded, I think it could be to one of the two Los Angeles teams, the Lakers or the Clippers. But on the Clippers front, it makes a ton of sense, because you could have the starting lineup of James Harden, Zach LaVine, Kawhi Leonard, Derrick Jones, and Zubac at the 5. You would have Jones and Kawhi being those point of attack, wing defenders on the perimeter. They would have, great switchability on the outside when guarding wings and guards. You would have that anchor in Zubac, and then you would have two of the best scoring guards in the entire NBA of James Harden and Zach LaVine. But, from the Clippers front, if you take LaVine out of this rotation, you take him out of this lineup, are they competing in the Western Conference? Probably not. They could maybe be a Kawhi Leonard injury away from not even making the play-in tournament. And with the new arena opening up for the Clippers and, Steve Ballmer being the aggressive owner we all know he is, trading for James Harden last year, I bet you he will make a call to Chicago for Zach LaVine. So what could a trade look like? Well, how about this? And this would be a blockbuster. So this would be a 3-team trade: the Bulls, the Clippers, and the Nuggets. And we heard reports that the Clippers are still trying to facilitate a Russell Westbrook trade. And also we got a report hearing that the Denver Nuggets are interested in Westbrook. So in this deal, the Nuggets receive Westbrook and Amir Coffey. The Clippers would get Zach LaVine, and they would get 4 second-round picks to take on his contract. Why is that significant for the Clippers? Well, you look at their draft capital over the next 5 years, it is damn near zero. All of their first-round picks are either going to Philly, or obviously, the boatload are going to OKC in that SGA deal. But then the Bulls would be receiving Norman Powell, PJ Tucker, Zeke Naji, and Bones Highland in this deal. We'll break down those players in a second. But if this were the trade, that would come to fruition for the Bulls, I think this would be a steal, because, number one, you're not giving up any first-round picks for offloading Zach LaVine's contract. And also, you're not even giving up the Portland pick that we have next year. Obviously, it is lottery protected, most likely will not convey, but you wouldn't be giving that up as well. And then you'd be getting a solid player in Norman Powell. Now, I'm not sure if the Bulls, if this is the trade that goes down, that they would want to keep Powell on this roster, as, Powell's a really good basketball player, and I actually think a contender could possibly throw you a protected first-round pick, for his talents. And, this past season, he was great. Very efficient basketball player. He actually did shoot over 40% from beyond the arc, but he's still 31 years old, a 6'3" combo guard, good defensive ability. He can run a lot of, weak side actions in the pick and roll, create separation, get the defense in rotation. Powell is one of the best closeout players in the NBA, one of the best spot-up players that we have seen in recent NBA memory. But would the Bulls want him? I am not sure. I could see them, having almost like a, very similar to Drew Holiday trade last year. We used this comparison on the channel countless times where Drew Holiday went to Portland, then they sent him to the Boston Celtics. Obviously, I don't think the Bulls could get, Brogdon and 2 firsts for Powell, just like, Portland did for Holiday, but maybe they could get a first-round pick for Norman Powell. And then also you're getting P.J. Tucker. P.J. Tucker, old man P.J., 39 years old, went to Texas. And, I think this could be a possible buyout for the Bulls. I don't think he's going to have any, real rotational minutes for this ball club. But let's just say they keep him on the team. I wouldn't hate him being that veteran presence in the locker room, help develop the young wings on the perimeter, like the Williams, like the Julian Phillips, and also, Matas Buzelis. But I could also see the Bulls maybe trading him for, second-round pick or whatever it may be. But he does have an $11 million contract, so that could also be useful, for a team just to help aggregate money to perform a trade. But you would also be getting Bones Highland. Shout out to producer Tex for this one. Bad to the bones. I love that. But, the thing is with Bones, I wouldn't be a big fan of bringing him to the rotation. He's that typical AAU style of hooper, 6-man, come off the bench, could erupt offensively. He is a negative defender. Really reminds me of a poor man, Lou Williams at this point in his career. So, I wouldn't, love the Bulls getting him. I don't know if he would play. But all of these players that the Bulls be getting in this trade, I could see them trading them again. Like, I think Norman Powell would have value on the open market. I could see P.J. Tucker, very limited value. Maybe you could get a second-round pick out of him. Maybe you could get a second-round pick out of Bones Highland. And, this would be a move for Chicago where it would double down on them and this youth movement and this rebuild. It would be a fantastic trade for the Bulls. But maybe you guys disagree with me. You guys let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Would you accept this trade? Give me an A for accept or a D for decline. Or maybe you're a Clippers fan coming across this video. I want your thoughts down below in the comment section as well. Is this enough for the Clippers to give up Norman Powell, P.J. Tucker, and Bones Highland for Zach LaVine? Let me know your thoughts down below. Now, the Bulls took on the Detroit Pistons in Summer League yesterday. I want to give you guys my not instant reaction, but my reaction and takeaways from watching this ball club go out yesterday in Las Vegas. But the Bulls did end up losing this game by 8 points with a final score of 85-77. Disappointing loss. They got off to a great start in the first quarter, had an early lead, but Pistons just chipped away at it and ended up pulling away late. But, the star of last night was Matas Buzelis. Again, another great game for the young kid from Chicago. 18 points, 7 of 18 from the field, 1 of 6 from downtown, and he had 4 blocks and 2 steals. I have been pounding the table about this on the channel for the past couple of weeks, ever since the NBA draft. Matas will come in and be a plus defender from day one, just due to his athletic ability, his natural size, and his overall hustle out there on the basketball court. There's a viral clip yesterday on Twitter. Matas had a layup on a big for the Detroit Pistons, and he turned to him and he goes, "And one MFer," just kind of speaks to the swagger and the confidence that he plays with. But, my take on Buzelis is, I was high on him coming out of the draft. I thought he could be a very, great starter in the NBA. Never, necessarily thought he had maybe all-star, all-NBA potential, but if he develops a consistent jump shot where he is shooting 37% from downtown and maybe, hitting his pull-up jumpers at, a 50-55% clip, like, he could be one of the best players in the entire NBA, and I fully stand by that. Like, I see it with him. I see the hustle. I see this overall athleticism, and I'm so excited to just continue to watch him develop. So, Bulls fans, enjoy this process because it is going to be a process. He is a young kid. It's going to be really fun to just watch him develop every single year. But from what I've seen so far, he's lived up to the hype, and he has just been fantastic for Chicago. But another wing I've been really impressed with this summer league is, second-round pick Julian Phillips. And, when the Bulls traded up to get Julian last year in the second round, I was a little wary on it. But I think it's lived up to, that selection so far. Didn't really get too much tick this time last season. But in the summer league so far, we have seen great strides. We've seen the jump shot. We've seen the ball handle. We've seen the, rim pressure ability that Phillips has, getting 12 points yesterday, 5 of 12, and also the defensive ability. He had 2 blocks and 3 steals. So between Matas and Julian Phillips, you had 6 blocks, 5 steals from your wings, and gets me to this point here. I think the Bulls sneakily have some of the best young wings in the NBA. Patrick Williams, I'm a believer in him. Still a big question mark about his game. Will he turn his game from passive P to aggressive P? Will he finally take that next step? Jury's still out on that. But if all 3 of these young guys, all under the age of 22 years old, develop into just solid 3-and-D wings in the NBA, it's going to make the lives of Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu a whole bunch easier because you have guys who can knock down open jump shots in the flow of an offense. You have guys who can create for themselves in a Matas Buzelis. And then also you got guys who can guard on the perimeter, which is so key. We saw the Boston Celtics last year, very extreme example, but Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, what makes them such a perfectly constructed roster? You have 2 wings who can switch 1 through 4. They can damn near switch every position if they needed to. The Bulls are starting to build that here with their young guys on the perimeter. But let's also kick it to a hometown kid here who I thought he played great. I don't know if he's got a chance to make this team, but I'll give him a better chance than I had before Summer League started, and he was great yesterday. 15 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, was getting to that pull-up jumper in the pick and roll, but 6 of 12 from the field, 1 of 4 from downtown. I've been very impressed with DJ so far, and, personally, I love seeing the hometown kid ball out. Like he, went to Whitney Young High School, played his collegiate hoops, at Duke, and just watching him develop over his, short NBA career so far has been special, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. So hopefully continue on that path. Who knows? Maybe this is a guy who, Bulls gave him a chance in Summer League. Maybe he ends up being a solid backup point guard in the league for Chicago moving forward. But again, just another young guy the Bulls have where it's like you believe in them, you trust their development, you've seen it out there on the basketball court, and I've just been thoroughly impressed with every player on this Bulls Summer League team. They play hard, and also I'd want to give a shout out to Billy Donovan's kid. First time coaching in the NBA. I actually think he's done a great job. I've loved the way the Bulls offensively and defensively have looked getting in and out of their sets. It's been super smooth. Obviously, their ability to, not knock down, open jumpers has definitely hurt this group so far. But, overall, it has been a ton of fun to watch this team. Just this youth movement is here, and it just makes it so much, so much more exciting than, what we've had in years past. Let's show Matas Buzelis some love here as I think number 14 is really starting to make a name for himself. So type his jersey number down in the comments section so I know where all the real ones are at. So show Matas some love. Type his jersey number down below. And also, guys, if you guys want to give me a follow on Twitter, that's the handle right there, @PatSieps. If you guys do so, I'll give you guys a follow back. But thank you guys so much for watching today's show. See you next time. Go Bulls.